So next important thing is the blood pressure. So this blood pressure also very important. So nowadays many people are facing with these complications with the age with the young age also so many people are getting the high blood pressure because of the current environmental and also their lifestyle and also work environment also make them into the high blood pressure. So if any patient comes, first we have to check the blood pressure. How is the blood pressures? The blood pressure measured with the blood pressure cuff and stethoscope. So that means we are going to check the blood pressure with the specialized equipment. The equipment is called as sphygmomanometer. Sphygmomanometer. It is the force of the blood pushing against the artery wall. So the pressure is going to be against the walls of the blood vessels. So in the blood vessels, there are three different layers are there. So blood vessel made up of tunica intima and tunica media and tunica externa. These three layers are there in the blood vessels. Along with this one is smooth muscles, elastic fibers, epithelium. So these structures are there. So there, because of the smooth muscle, the blood vessel is going to contract and relax. So because of the contraction and relaxations, it may give the pressure inside the blood vessels. So then we can find the blood pressure. So each time the heartbeat is, and also it pumps blood into the arteries, resulting in the highest blood pressure in the arteries to contract. If you compare the arteries and veins, the pressure is going to be very high in the arteries than the veins because artery size, the lumen size is going to be lesser than the veins. So that is the reason the pressure is going to be more in the arteries. That is the reason. So we have to check the blood pressure only in the arteries, not in the veins. Both the systolic. So the blood pressure will be two stage. That means two types we have to measure. The first one is systolic pressure and also diastolic pressure. So what is mean by systolic pressure? What is mean by diastolic pressure? We will discuss. Systolic pressure is nothing but is the contraction of the ventricles. So that means the squeezing of the blood to from the heart to the other blood vessels such as the aorta and also pulmonary artery. Dilatation, there is a diastolic means filling stage. The blood is going to enter into the ventricles. That is nothing but the filling stage. So these are the two types of the blood pressure, systolic blood pressure and also diastolic blood pressure. So according to the National Heart, Lung and also Blood Institute, the normal blood pressure will be 140 to the, and also 140 is the systolic pressure, 90 is the diastolic pressures. So according to this National Heart and Lung Blood Pressure Institute, so it mentioned normally actually 120 stroke 80 is the normal. But now because of the day-to-day changes, lifestyle changes, all these things, now they give the normal one is the 140 is the systolic pressure and also 90 is the diastolic pressure. So if anybody, the new blood pressure category was added called the pre-hypertension. So that is 120 and also 80 mm of Hg is called as the pre is a hypertension. So that means they are near to reach to the pre-hypertension. So if anybody reach more than these things, so they may chance to get the hypertension in the future, not in at the same time. So if you see the systolic blood pressure, just now we discussed. So that defined as the maximum pressure exert in the during the arteries during the systole of the heart. Systole means heart contraction. So during the contraction time, how much the pressure is there, the pressure is called as the systolic blood pressure. So during the relaxation time, R is the filling stage, so is called as the diastolic blood pressures. So the diastolic pressure will be is the 60 to 80. So normally the pressure will be the 80. So if it is more less than these things, so it may called as the hypotension. So how this blood pressure is going to be affects according to the some variation, some factors. Okay, if you see that according to the age factor, this blood pressure is going to be altered. Just now we saw the temperature, same like the blood pressure also going to be altered. So in the systolic pressure, so it will be in the newborn, it will be only 70 mm of Hg. Normally is the normal adult is a more than 140, right? So 120 and 100 So that is the, but if in the newborn, it will be only 70 mm of Hg of the systolic, and diastolic will be the 40. But if we come to the puberty, it's going to reach to the 120, and also is going to reach to the 80. So this is the normal after puberty. That's a normal blood pressure. So if the puberty, if anybody having less than like a 100 or maybe 80, so it indicates they're having the hypotension symptoms. Hypotension means a less pressure in the blood vessels. Or it reach to the, if it is the, in case of puberty, if anybody crossed 140, they're having some other complication related to the blood pressures. So these things we have to measure carefully. So we have to diagnose the pre-hypertension stage, hypertension stage, and also we have to check the what are the dangerous hypertension stage. That means a malignant hypertension. So we will discuss what are the different types of hypertension. We'll see in the next slides. So next one is the sex, and also in the females and males, how the difference will be there. So the arterial pressure is going to be at least 5 mm of Hg is less than the males at the same age. So if you see here, so the females, the pressure is going until the menopause, the pressure is less than the men age group. But after the menopause, after the menstrual period stop, so the pressure is going to be same in the both ages, both age group as well as the both genders. The male and females are going to be, because of this variation is because of the hormonal changes, because of the progesterone. Just now we discussed the the temperature, right? So there also, because of the this progesterone hormone also plays an important role in the blood circulation and also blood pressures, and also body build. In the obese, the pressure will be more than the lean persons. Why? Obese is nothing but obese when they're going to get the obesity because of the fat accumulations. If the fat accumulation in the blood vessels, so automatically it gives the resistance, it may give the high blood pressure. And also diurnal variations. So in the morning, the pressure is slightly low compared to the afternoon and also evening. In the evening, the pressure is going to be increased because of their physical activity. And also the after meal also the blood pressure is going to be increased. And also during the sleep, the blood pressure is going to be decreased. But if they get any dreams, the pressure is also going to be increased. That is the variations to the normal sleep, and also if anybody having the dream sleep. So who are getting continuous dreams and all these things, so they may chance to get the disturbance of the sleep, and also may alter the blood pressure, may chance to get the other complications. And also emotional conditions such as the anxiety and depression also increasing the blood pressure level. These are all due to because of the release of the adrenaline hormone. So this adrenaline is giving the emotional imbalance. So that means it increasing the emotions, it may increasing the blood pressure. Okay. So coming to the after the exercise, how the blood pressure is going to be increased. So after the exercise, the blood pressure is going to be increased because of exercise increasing the cardiac output. So because of the cardiac output, the blood volume also going to be increased. If it is increased, the pressure also going to be increased. So after the severe muscular exercise, at least 40 to 50 mm of Hg is going to be increased. That's the reasons. In case of like a athletic people, the blood pressure is going to be high during the exercise time. So if it is exercise, they are going to get the more cardiac output and also oxygen supply. So that's the reason its oxygen supply is going to increase to the tissues. Sorry. So after severe muscular exercise, systolic pressure rises at least minimum 40 to 50 mm of Hg at the basal level. But the diastolic pressure reduces because of the peripheral resistance decreases in severe muscular exercises. So the diastolic pressure is going to be decreased, but systolic pressure is going to be increased. So these are the variations in the physiological variations of the blood pressure. So how the factors are maintaining the arterial blood pressure. So these are the major factors are the local factors are there, which is the cardiac output and also is the heart rate. So this cardiac output also increasing the blood pressure, because if the cardiac output is increased, pressure also increase. Output means how much the blood is pumping one side. So that also it altered. So this blood pressure, cardiac output is going to be interrelated. If the cardiac output is increased, blood pressure also increase. So if you see these things, cardiac output, heart rate, peripheral resistance, blood volume, venous return, viscosity of the blood flow, and also velocity of the blood flow, viscosity of the blood flow is directly proportional to the arterial blood pressure. How directly? If the cardiac output is increased, blood pressure increase. Heart rate is increased, blood pressure is increased. Peripheral resistance, inside the blood vessel, if any resistance increase, pressure also increase. Resistance due to any fat accumulation, any obstruction of the foreign material, so the blood pressure is increased. And also volume, blood volume is increased. If the blood volume means the amount of the blood is increased, so the if the amount comes a lot, so they have to push more pressure with pressurely, so the pressure also going to be increased. Venous return, if the venous return is increased from the lower limbs, it reaches the right atrium. So the if the load is comes to the right atrium, automatically the pressure is going to be increased. And also velocity, if the speed, blood speed is increased, pressure also increased. Viscosity, viscosity means thickness of the blood. If the blood become thick, the pressure also going to be increased. So this is all is interrelated. And also inversely proportional, especially the elastic fibers and also diameter of the blood vessel. If the diameter is bigger size, so the pressure is less. If the elastic fibers are more, the pressure is less. If the elastic is there, if the elastic is there, elastic is going to be expand. It's a stretchable. So automatically the pressure will release. If the no elasticity, the blood vessel will become the very stiff. If the hard, in those conditions, the blood vessel cannot expand. So it's going to get the more pressure inside the wall or blood vessels. So that is the difference between the in the artery, the pressure is going to be increased. Why? The lumen size is going to be increased than the veins. So these are the some factors maintaining the arterial blood pressure. So what are the pathological variations of the blood pressure? So pathological variations are just now we discussed. What is the normal blood pressure? Normal blood pressure is less than 140 until from the 120 to 140 is the normal range in the systolic blood pressure, and also is 80 to 90 is the normal diastolic pressure. If any changes are these things, it is called as the hypertension or hypotension. So coming to the hypertension, first one is we have to see the hypertension. Hypertension is defined as the persisting high blood pressure. So more blood pressure. So it's around the more than 130 or 140, and diastolic pressure is the above the 90 is called as the hypertension. Hyper means the blood pressure is going to be increased. So this hypertension is divided into the two categories. First one is the primary hypertension, also called as essential hypertension. Second one is the secondary hypertension, primary and secondary. Why it divided into the primary and secondary? Primary means normally they are going to get the blood pressure, high blood pressure, but there is no causative factor. If any patient comes, if you check the blood pressure, the blood pressure will be very high. But if you rule out the causative factor, we cannot find the rule out properly because of there is no exact causative factor for the blood pressure. So this type of blood pressure is called as primary hypertension, also called as essential hypertension. So this is the unknown reason. So there is no proper reasons, but they are going to get the hypertension. So this type of blood pressure is called as is the primary hypertension. So again, this primary hypertension is going to be divided into the two different types. So the first one is called as the benign hypertension. First one is called as this primary hypertension is divided into two categories, benign hypertension and also malignant hypertension. Maybe you heard about the benign tumors and malignant tumor. Benign tumor, it won't spread to one part of the other part, but it may use the complication. It won't give much complication if it is not growing properly. It's only grows, but it won't give the damage to other parts of the body. It won't spread. Same like here also, benign hypertension is the person is going to get the high blood pressure, but there is no causative factor, but there is no symptoms also. The symptomless course. They are going to get the symptomless course. That means they won't get any other complications. The blood pressure may be increasing to the 200 systolic pressure, and also above 100 is going to be diastolic pressure. But after some time, the blood pressure is going to come to the normal in the resting condition. But in some cases, if the ages progression, if the ages goes, so this pressure is not controlled, but in the future, they may chance to get the other complications. So that means in the initial period, the symptoms are less. That means the symptomless is course. But if the age progress, these, if it is not controlled, so it may chance to develop the cardiac problem, vascular problem, and renal problem. So this type of hypertension is called as benign hypertension. So it won't like a symptomless course, but in the progression, they may chance to get the symptoms. So next one is the malignant hypertension. Malignant hypertension, also called as, is a fatal disease or fatal type of hypertension. That means is going to get the severe, like the range of hypertension. The blood pressure is going to be high, is going to be accelerated. So because of these conditions, progressively affect to the cardiac diseases and also renal diseases. So these are called as the acceleratory hypertension. So this is going to be the systolic pressure is going to reach until the 250. And diastolic pressure will be the 150. Normally, if any person get more than 180 to 190, those persons may chance to get the stroke. Those persons may chance to get the damage of the blood vessel, damage of the brain, because of the rupture of the blood vessels. So the condition is called as is the hemorrhagic condition or hemorrhagic stroke. So in case of 250 also, if it reaching means the persons may chance to die immediately, and also within the short duration of the time, the person may chance to die. And also it may affect the other organs of the body. So this is a very dangerous conditions. It is always developed due to combined effect of primary and secondary hypertension. So causative factor as well as the unknown causative factor because of the any infection or any damage of the blood vessels, any narrowing of the blood vessel, any atherosclerosis, the blood vessel thickening, and also the blood vessel closing. So these are also causative factor. Sometimes there is no proper causative factor. So combined together, it may give the malignant hypertension. So because of this malignant hypertension, the organs like eye, that is retina, heart and brain, kidneys, these are the major like vital organs are going to be affected. So it may damage, it may chance to get the death. So that's the reasons this malignant hypertension also called as a fatal disease. Fatal means death. So that's all about this is about the primary hypertension and also. So coming to the secondary hypertension. So secondary hypertension means, so it's having the proper causative factor. So primary hypertension, there is no causative factor, but the secondary hypertension, we know the causative factor. So why they are going to get the hypertension with a known reason? So this one is going to be known reasons are going to be if anybody having the cardiac problem. So especially is the atherosclerosis. Cardiovascular means atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis means the blood vessel become very thick. The blood vessel is become the thick with is a deposition of the fatty deposition or plaques deposition. So if the deposition of the blood vessels, there is no proper blood circulation, so the lumen size is going to be decreased. So because of the decreased lumen size, so the pressure is going to be increased. If you imagine this is the blood vessel, like a lumen. So in this condition, if the lumen size is normal, the blood flow very easily. If it because of the obstruction of the fat or because of the anything here, if any damage here, so if any compression, any narrowing here, so what happens? There is no proper blood circulation here. So this is going to give the high blood pressure. So next one is the coarctation of aorta. Coarctation of aorta is the congenital abnormality of the blood vessels. Aorta becomes the narrowing. The aorta becomes very small size or short or narrowing. So in this condition, there is no proper blood circulations. So those people are going to get the high blood pressures. And also Other like endocrine disorders, if anybody having any tumors in the medulla, or maybe is the if any high excessive secretion of the catecholamines, so that is going to be the any tumors in the endocrine system also alter the blood pressure. And also excess secretion of the aldosterone and also adrenal cortex. If any hormones are very high, so alter the blood pressure, increase the blood pressure. Next one is the excessive secretion of the glucocorticoids in the adrenal cortex, in the adrenal gland. If the cortex secretes the more, so they may chance to get the Cushing syndrome, that is called as Cushing syndrome. So these are the disease conditions. So if anybody having these diseases, automatically they are going to get the hypertension, that is the secondary hypertension. Other than these diseases, another causative factors are the renal hypertension. If anybody having kidney artery stenosis, kidney artery stenosis means narrowing. If the artery is the small size, if there is no proper way to blood circulations, in those conditions may chance to get the hypertension. And also neurologic hypertension. Neurologic hypertension, if anybody having any tumor in the brain, increase the intracranial pressure, or maybe any like a CSF, cerebrospinal fluid is accumulation inside the brain, so may chance to get the this hypertension. So these are all the secondary complications of the hypertension. One more important thing, secondary complication is hypertension during the pregnancy. So some women may chance to get the hypertension during the pregnancy time, because this is because of the toxemia, or maybe because of the low glomerular filtration rate, GFR, that is in the kidney filtration rate. If there is no proper filtration in the kidney during the because of the retention of the sodium and water in the pregnancy, because of the physiological changes, these things are going to be happening. And also one more thing, and also another hormone is going to be released from the placenta. So this hormone is mainly plays a major role in the vasoconstriction agent. So these hormones from the placenta means the covering layer to the baby, the newborn baby in the uterus. So these things are going to release, and also it alter the blood pressure. So if once the women deliver the baby, if the placenta and also remove from the their uterus, so automatically the percentage of the hormones are going to be balanced, and also it's going to reduce the blood pressure. It comes to the equal. So this is the pathological variations of the blood pressures. So another pathological variation is the hypotension. So hypotension is the decrease the blood pressures. So decrease the blood pressure. This also two types of the blood pressures. So this is the primary hypotension and also secondary hypotension. So primary hypotension means there is no proper causative factor, same like the hypertension. So this is also no reason, but they are going to get the less blood pressures. So this is called as essential hypotension. So another one is going to be the secondary hypotension. Secondary hypotension is due to the causative factor, is a known causative factors. So known causative factors are the main causative factors, the myocardial infarction, that is the decrease of blood circulation to the heart muscles, and also hypoactivity of the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is the master gland of our body. So if any hypoactivity, there is no activity, if the function is less, so it may chance to get the blood pressure, low blood pressures. And also hypoactivity of the adrenal gland. So if no proper secretion of the adrenaline, and also infection, tuberculosis infection, and nervous disorders. So if any neurological disorders, so may chance to get the hypotension, that is the decrease the blood circulations. So this also same like the hypertension, two types, primary hypotension and also secondary hypotension. Primarily, there is no known causative factor, but these people are going to face the always tiredness and weakness. But if they take rest, again they are going to get the normal. But the only thing is, one more important factor is orthostatic hypotension is this is the major complications. It may give the health issues. So sometimes the person may chance to get the giddiness, may fall down. Because of these things, may chance to get the head injuries. What is the orthostatic hypotension? Orthostatic hypotension is sudden fall in the blood pressure while standing for some time. If, for example, this is most commonly seen in the bedridden patients. If any patient complete bedridden on the bed continuously because of the spinal cord injury, the person unable to sit, unable to stand, unable to walk, so continuously on the bed. If suddenly the patient get up from the bed to and sitting pose, or if someone make them into the standing pose, automatically they're going to get the giddiness. Why? So continuous bed sleeping on the bed or supine lying positions, the blood flow will be altered. The pressure going to be altered. If they get up, the blood has to pump against the gravity. So in the standing position, blood has to pump upwards. So it's a difficult. So the blood circulation is going to be decreased. So this condition is called as orthostatic hypotension. So this condition most commonly seen in the myasthenia gravis and also neurological disorders who are on the bedridden and tabes dorsalis, syringomyelia and diabetic neuropathy. So these conditions maybe you will learn in the next further semesters. You can learn clearly in the detail in the next semesters. So that's all about the today topic. So these are the major the examinations of the vital signs. So blood first one is the body temperatures, pulse rate, respiratory rate, and also blood pressures. I explained a little bit detail. So why you have to differentially diagnosis. This is very important. If anybody comes with a known cost factor or unknown cost factor, you have to differentiate. That is the importance of the diagnosis. If you diagnose properly, so then only can give the treatment properly. We can give the treatment properly. So that is the reason here I explained clearly about the what type of the pathological changes, how it's going to be altered, what are the causative factors. Hopefully you understand about the vital signs examinations. If you have any doubts, you can send a message. I can clarify your doubts. No worries. Thank you very much. That's all about your topic.